All right, what's going on, everyone? This is an update. It's been about 3 weeks since I did the last update. I think the other one was back in August 29th. Shouts out to everyone who watches these updates that in regards to the businesses in terms of the progress. Things have been awfully busy in terms of the performance dance side, in terms of Temper Tantrum, and for myself as a professional dancer. There's a lot. Okay, so to start off with Temper Tantrum, since I think that one seems to be one of the busiest. So in terms of performances and bookings, we recently performed at. So if you hear some things happening in the back, that's Max making some dinner. So shouts out to Max. So say thank you, Max, at the comments. But yeah, in terms of recent stuff with Temper Tantrum, we recently performed at a block party. That was more of a community event with the studio that we practice at. It was the first time doing this, but it was, so we didn't know what to expect in terms of crowd. We said, like, it might just be one people or maybe five people just moseying around, but fortunately we were able to actually fill up the stands to actually like majority capacity, maybe 85% of capacity, a part of which was we were able to do that because Brandon and Lauren, they had experience in trying to bring people to their shows and conventions before, so we kind of followed a similar format, which is we got people to come watch us by doing a little bit of a street show right outside. Good old-fashioned street show from what I would used to do when I was much younger to get money, but this one was to get people to come watch us. And then after that, Brandon, the artistic director of Temper Tantrum, went on the mic, did a nice call to action, and then we went on over. We knew people were hooked in on us and doing our dancing the minute the phones came out. Excuse me. The minute that happened, we knew we can do the call to action because they were engaged, they were buying what we were selling, and then that was enough for the people to come over and watch us. And aside from that, like, I'm glad that we formatted this very much strongly with family friendly because there was a lot of kids in the audience. I think one of the highlights of that event or that performance was when we did the Saja Boys choreography. A couple kids in the front row stood up and did the choreography. It was one, adorable, but two, also potentially distracting because I was like, a lot of us were like, oh, they're like dancing along with us, but then like we gotta stay focused and not completely mess up the whole thing. So other things that are coming up for us, thanks to that event, we got booked to do October 18th Dia de los Muertos event happening somewhere in the San Gabriel Valley. I don't remember the information right off the top of my head, but it's not all of us. It's more so they're booking us to do what we did that got the people to the show. It's more like crowd engagement, street shows. It's going to be for a couple hours. I'm not going to be doing it because I'm going to be performing at Six Flags, but a bunch of three of our other dancers are going to be are going to be doing it. So this is kind of like one of the things we're trying to do. Like, we want dancers being able to do these different gigs and kind of like splinter off, divide and conquer with these opportunities through Temper Tantrum, because that's not the only crowd engagement that we're doing on the 18th. We're also doing another one for the 11th as well, and that's with the other Temper Tantrum members. And then not only that, Max, Lauren, and I are going to be performing at Six Flags. So other performances and bookings, we're going to be performing at an industry event at the OC called Loose Cannons. First time hearing about this event, excited for it. I think, and what I like about it is that it is on a Wednesday, so it's not on the weekend. Because we originally wanted to apply for Carnival, but since it's on Thursday nights, it's a no-go because once it's October, Max, Lauren, and I are going to be needed every Thursday. I mean, technically we can still do it. I won't be able to participate. Max and Lauren won't be able to participate. So we might as well just open it up to other people. But we also have a whole bunch of other shit that's on our plate. Yeah. So we might just keep it to just Loose Cannons, and maybe do a November Carnival because we only have one or two performances that month. It's funny because at the beginning of the year we said, like, once August happens, shit's gonna be busy, and it's been busy. And in terms of like not just the dance things, but also the more cast related type of stuff. This month, it's September 18th at the time of filming this, but earlier this month, as I was saying that we were busy, this month actually we're not that busy in terms of performances. I usually view that as an opportunity to create something, because I wanted to give us purpose with all the training and just keep growing. So like if there's no opportunity for us, then we create the opportunity, which led me to create something called the Choreo Lab, which is something that was inspired by songwriting camps, which is few producers and singers, and then they essentially collaborate and mix and match the different type of songs depending on the theme, depending on what they're trying to go for. How we're formatting that is there's a certain set of choreographers. We mix and match the members to learn under them, and then we rotate every 2 hours or so. That way, by the end of it, we have about 6 choreographed pieces with 6 separate groups that we can use for upcoming performances. And that way, there's no crossover with everyone having to learn and be in everything. One of the big challenges usually with routines is someone usually knows the choreography for everything, and some people just want to be in everything, or sometimes there's not enough, and then one dancer is just doing everything. So this kind of helps with that, assuming most people are available, but also this helps expedite the creation process in terms of the amount, but also it gives an opportunity for the aspiring choreographers in the company to contribute, and those who have never choreographed and taught before. Brandon, Lauren, and I are going to be giving them guidance on how to create it, and giving them feedback the day of. So, yeah, it's been the first time we did that was earlier this month on the 7th. So I think that experiment turned out pretty dope because we were able to essentially put together a whole rough idea of a concept within 2 hours, and then we're continuing that on the 21st. So I'm excited for that. And then that actually leads to the next thing in terms of bookings, because it happened to work out. We got booked to do essentially a commercial for a store that's, I'm not going to give out the location, but yeah, we got booked to do that. It's kind of a Daiso kind of place. So we're going to be taking the choreography we create the Choreo Lab and then put it into that store location. And the fun part is that we're not married to one style. We're not married to one over long arching routine. It's multiple pieces of dances, choreography, different moods, and then everyone who choreographs essentially has free reign to direct the look that they want come film day. So should be fun. I'm pretty excited. Yeah, and that's kind of like the angle that I've been wanting to do for the past few years for dance content creation for Tantrum. So essentially like give people a platform to teach, give them a certain set of people, give them obviously a time limit, and then we keep going. Ideally, like this is considering this is an experiment, I might go for longer like the next time we do this, but this is something I wanted to see, like how fast can we create in a short amount of time, because then it goes back to my hypothesis and theory of like people show up when there's skin in the game. So when there's a time limit, there's a sense of scarcity, which means they either lose focus or they gain all the focus they need to make sure that they know their shit. So in terms of performances and bookings, Temper Tantrum was also invited to South LA Pride's networking event that we went to, so that kind of helped us out. So that helped us get the gig for South LA Pride. Hopefully that makes sense. And this time we're going to be able to perform. We were invited to perform, but it's not going to be a whole lot of us because that stage is small relative to us, so only a handful of us. But I think it's going to be great to stay in the network and in connections with the people who through South LA Pride, because they've communicated that they want us to come back next year, and I want us to I think this is another great opportunity for us to stay involved with what they're doing. So in terms of content, in terms of the reactions, World Street Woman Fighter and Street Dance Girls Fighter are slightly delayed due to scheduling conflicts. Max, Lauren, and I Max, Lauren, and I are super busy from Friday to Sunday for now, but then eventually in October, Thursday through Sunday, because of our schedules for performing at Six Flags. Kat, who used to be available on Monday, is no longer available on Monday. So the only time slot she's available is actually on Thursdays. It falls into a very narrow window for us to be able to record something. So what we're going to try to do with the next couple of weeks is batch film a whole bunch of stuff while our Thursdays are still free. For our Street Dance Girls Fighter, we probably won't be able to do that probably for another couple of weeks, or a week, and then next week, Tuesday, Thursday, Max, Lauren, and I are going to film as much World Street Woman Fighter as we can. That'll get us through October, so that way we can pick things back up in November. So, I mean, things are busy. As much as we want to be able to create and share the stuff that you guys love, we're also trying to balance it with all the other gigs and work that's coming our way. So in terms of Vision Paradox, client work is pretty steadily growing. It's I'd say the least sexy part right now in terms of the businesses, because it's just the work we film, unless it's like a music video. But right now it's just content creation for our clients, making sure that there's an upward steady growth of their content. We recently did an experimental type of video for one of our clients. I think it's going to do really well, but we'll see, because that came out today. So we'll see how the viewership is on that. But overall, the viewership, reach, and everything is way up, like compared to last month. So which means there's momentum. We just got to keep going. And the ideal scenario is like, one, we keep them consistent, but I also want to saturate it. And what I mean by saturated is, but I want to make sure that we're consistent all the way through the end of the year before I start doubling up on things, because who knows what might happen. We might not be able to, the client that might not be available for a month for whatever, because of family, because it is towards the end of the year. And I've experienced that where people just get busy or unavailable towards the end of the year. So there might be a case for that. So I want to make sure that we're at least taken care of through December, January, before we start doing at least twice a week. But my ultimate goal is at least 3 to 4 times a day. In terms of Emeroy TV, same thing, delays on in terms of the World Street Women Fighter and Street Dance Girls Fighter because of the schedule. The plan was to get back into editing backlogged reactions this week, but the schedule is just crazy. Yeah, definitely crazy. In terms of Ochacha, so they unfortunately had to cancel one of their shows because the venue wasn't very communicative, which was unfortunate. But what they are doing now is that they're moving forward for their Halloween show, which is called Buchacha. So yeah, that's it. I think that they're just doing their thing. They're creating the next show. It does suck that they had to cancel the show. And not only that, we're also going to be talking with their leadership and a potential investor this coming Monday. So excited to talk about that. In terms of the professional dancer personal brand side, I watched the previous video. The last thing I got to do was one of the last updates I got to share with you is that I was debating whether or not to work with this one music artist. I decided to go with it because it worked with the schedule, and I don't know, it's just been a while since I worked with a music artist, so I wanted to see if I guess can still do it, and I was able to. It was nice to be able to go on set, teach the dancers, also dance, and it was a nice additional little pay bump with that. And what I really liked about this client is that they paid immediately. Some clients or some productions wait 14 business days or 2 weeks or 30 business days until they actually send you the payment. This one was like right off the bat. So yeah, and with that artist, they liked what I did, so I'm actually supposed to be talking with them tonight or tomorrow to talk about their upcoming music video that they want me to choreograph as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to dance in it because of my schedule, but I can at least choreograph it. Yeah. So in terms of that, there's a minimal edited video, behind the scenes video on the Patreon. And in terms of other things, I was interviewed and accepted to be a judge for a dance competition for their West Coast division. So it's likely I'll be judging some competitions in California, maybe Washington, maybe Oregon, whatever, or even Nevada or Arizona. Depends on what they consider West Coast in their competition. I also have another meeting to potentially be a judge for another competition as well. That's going to be happening on Monday. So yeah, it's a lot of dance work's been coming my way. I'm really grateful for it, and I'm just as tired as I am. I'm appreciating it because, especially, like, as I've said many times, dance is a hustle. You have to find a way to make your own work consistent. And right now, work seems consistent at the moment until, Six Flags Fright Fest is done, until, competition season is done, until, something happens. So it might be just me coming from a scarcity mindset, but it's more so like I'm aware that this doesn't mean it's set for life. I just need to be ready for the next thing, but everything just seems to be happening at the same time. So going from the combination of Six Flags, the artists I'm working with, the judging for the potential judging for competitions, it sounds like a lot. In looking back, it might not be as much. It just might be I'm just taking on a lot at the moment, or I don't know. That might be the case. But yeah, yeah. In terms of other things, Six Flags, we go with the Six Flags Fright Fest. Last night was the employee preview night, which was a little bit chaotic because they hired a lot of, I'd say, maze actors, clowns, and then a lot of extra people because they had some people drop off last year, which caused, I'd say, a little bit of emptiness on certain areas. So I think they hired a lot more people. So in case people drop, there's no gaps in between. From my perspective, from that experience, it was stressful because we were supposed to be like the makeup artists that were assigned to us were only there until 8:45. The entire cast wasn't there until 7:45, and there's about 10 of us. So, and then trying to get us with the proper look that they need for stage. Yeah, and then what made it a little more stressful is that that certain amount of people that we had that was designated to us got split because other people that were late, who were also part of the mazes, came through there and were essentially using up those resources as well. So, fortunately, we made it just in time. Like, I'd say they finished makeup maybe a little past 8:30, but the job was done. The run through was great. I did kind of fuck up on Thriller, which sucked because I've done it so many times. And the one time where I'm like, am I on time? And I had the conversation in my head and I fucked up. But I had so many run throughs where it was good. But the one time, it's one of those things I've shared in like my reactions. Like, you can practice something a million times and have it on point, but there's always that 0.001% that you mess up. And I think yesterday was that 0.001% that happened. Currently, I have zero intention of messing up. I am still practicing on my own, but it just happened. I'm like, but the important thing is that I was able to recover. I didn't like freeze and just like start doing nothing. I was just like, okay, cool. I missed a movement on this count, and I don't know why my Google went on, but I missed a moment on this count, but I kept going. I didn't have a deer in the headlights look, which was something that I would used to do and freak out. But yeah, along with that, I actually got to film the show, not with just this camera, like with several camera angles, with a front row shot, a wide shot, close-up shots, and an angled shot, which is, I know it's a bit overkill, but I think capturing it as many ways as possible is, I think, great just for having the content, but also like, I'm appreciative that they let me do it, because as a regular, when I've gone as a regular patron, they don't let me bring my tripods in. I was able to get my tripods in this time around, but I think it was a little bit more so that I'm pretty sure had this been another day, they probably would have told me to put my tripod in the car, but because there was so much happening, they had bigger things to handle. I'm grateful that I was able to bring my tripods this time around and capture, let's say, like high quality footage of the show, because as far as I know, there's not other people recording the show just dedicated to that. Yeah. Lesson of these past 3 weeks: enjoy the moment, be present as much as you can. I know sharing from my current experience, there's a lot pulling me in multiple directions, but that doesn't mean I'm like trying to, but I don't know. I think, because what I think about right now is a lot of dancers at the age of 38. It's not that old, but some people view that as ancient. As in dancers' years, a lot of people still think that's ancient, and I'm just grateful that I was planning on leaving dance, like by maybe 2017, 2018, and I'm still here because I thought I was going to be too old to do it. I thought I was going to be too injured to keep going, but self-care, strength training, all the things, and continual workman on the craft is one of the reasons I'm still here. And then surrounding yourself with people who love it and actually invite you to the opportunities helps. And I think the older I get, the more I just am grateful that I'm still getting the opportunities to be on stage, to choreograph, to be in music videos, where I'm surrounded by a bunch of youngsters that I say youngsters that they're like 27 and under. When I did that music video, a lot of them were like in their 20s, and I was like the only 38-year-old, or that was close to their 40s. So in terms of dancers, there was other talent, but they weren't dancers. They were background. Yeah. So just enjoying the ride, enjoying the moment, but still putting in the work. So Hopefully that lesson was cohesive. Be in the moment, enjoy the ride, and be grateful that you're still here, because another 10 years from now, shit's going to be different. Your friends might not be your friends anymore. Or you might be not living in the same place. Situations might be different. That's enough of that. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you're still here, do all the things. Comment what you're working on this week. And I'll see you guys in the next time. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.